Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the Game On Challenge. Another milestone, another season complete. It's fucking epic, it really is. But that's due to the fact that we've been fucking smashing it out of late. Now, the last video of part 74, the date was the 10th of August, 81. There you can see the date is the 3rd of August, 83. So much has happened in virtually 2 years. You may recall, Matt was Roma, I was Man United. Well, I've moved around a little bit since then, to be honest with you. Man U was only ever going to be a short-term gig for me because it was Man U and we've been there, etc, etc. Well, let me tell you that that season, as you know, we won the treble. We beat Matt in the final of the Champions League. We then moved to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now you can already see we left Mönchengladbach. I'll explain what had happened. So we moved to Mönchengladbach in October 81. And we left just over a year later, roughly October 82, maybe a bit November. But I'll explain to you what happened in Mönchengladbach. We took over, rock bottom of the German league, and we steadied them to 8th place, which was a really good season because we also won the cup as well. You ask yourself, why did I leave? For a couple of reasons I left Mönchengladbach a year later. It wasn't about I took them as far as I could, but one, I suddenly became insecure in my job status from the start of the season, despite the money I'd spent. But the biggest issue I had, right, and it's going to still be here, I would imagine, it's still... no, it's not. They've changed it. Yeah, no. It's a different name. Okay. Well, that's bizarre. So this is my issue, right? They can only have 2 coaches. There was a player that was trapped... So you got this coach here, haven't you? You got this coach here, and then you've got this assistant manager who's not even an assistant manager for Mönchengladbach. Now, it was somebody else. It was a different name, and he was 65. So that tells me, and I genuinely feel that played a part. Now, what happened is I forget who the coach was. He was 65. He was French, and when I went to a coach report, it had my 2 coaches and this player, this fictitious name or whatever, 3 times. And I couldn't have any more coaches. I couldn't sack him. Matt bought him, and he would still remain at my team. And I just couldn't do anything. It was just a fucking mess. It was really messed up, and I believe that had a part to play in Borussia Dortmund, in Borussia Mönchengladbach. So I opted. I said to Matt, I went, fuck this. I'm leaving this fucking joint. I'm leaving this joint. So we left. And we moved roughly about... when was it? Let's have a look. We're going to do spoilers now, but we're going to go straight into where we are. Are you ready for where I moved to? We moved to Brazil. And it was a bit of a rare one, really, because I don't think Matt was expecting it. I think he half expected it in respect of... he knew I wanted to leave Mönchengladbach. It was getting on my tits. There are so many rules and regs in Brazil. It's a weird one because, firstly, your calendar year is different. We say 7 transfers per calendar year, where the calendar starts or resets at the start of January, which wasn't a bad thing for me because I took over. Now, what did we say? When did I say I took over? I took over on the 11th of the 11th, 82. Now, the season had pretty much finished with in Brazil. I think there was about 2 games left, and they finished midway. So that's one thing. The window opened on the 10th of December. I'll show you that in a moment. But there's a spoiler there. You've seen it, haven't you? So we won the Brazilian Gacho State Championship. We finished in the top 4. We had the semi-final. We took on Brazil to Paletos in the semis. We beat them, and we beat Grêmio in the final. But you've already seen it there. Matt has just, and I mean just, left Roma and is joining Flamengo, where he's going to take part in the National First Division Championship with myself. So Flamengo were in their own Rio State Championship, and they won it. Matt wasn't involved, but it's all fucked up, really, because this is how we saved it yesterday. So Matt is he's in so many competitions at the minute. It's going to be a bit of a mess, because the Champions Cup, which is all the state winners against each other. So I've lost my first leg. I didn't realise it was 2 legs. I've got to take that return leg. But Flamengo are in that. Now, that semi-final should have been concluded, do you see, on the 28th of July. It's the 3rd of August at the minute. And Matt isn't having his semi-final, second leg, until the 11th of August. He's in the World Championships. He's in the Copa Mercosa. I don't quite know where this is going to end, to be honest with you. I don't even know if Matt knew he was in these, to be honest with you. I didn't know. I didn't want to play much influence on Matt choosing the job or not. But he took over and he goes, I'm in that semi-final, Mike, with you. And I went, are you really? He goes, yeah. And not only that, but he's in the World Championships, and I didn't even realise he was in that as well. It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. And he would have been in the actual Brazilian Cup had they not have lost the shit. Yeah, there you go. 16th of June. Now, the thing with Matt is, this is Matt's team, and we'll do my team in a minute, but Matt, right, hasn't got the greatest team in the world. I think he said he had 50-odd million pounds. He's got 7 transfers to make ASAP before the end of the year. I think the window closes soon, and then it will reopen on the 10th of December. And then he can have another 7 in January. So you have 2 championships a season. You have your state championship, and then you have your national, which the national we're both in. Okay. And it works in the same principle, top 4. So there you go. I mean, I've not won it in forever. Matt's not won it in a few years. So it's a new chapter, it really is. Let me remind you now, one of the big things about Brazil is that you can have no more than 2 non-Brazilians in any matchday squad, which it tends to be a real ball ache and a bastard. I was in the illusions it's only 2 you can have, but I know it's at least 3 because Gremio have 3. It was all fucked up because I went to buy a player in December and it said I couldn't have any more foreigners, but I only had 2 at the time. Tell a lie, I had 1 at the time. I sold him and I managed to get... no, tell a lie, I had 1 at the time, which was that guy, Brett Emerton. And I had to sell someone in order to get this other guy. I got him over the line in the January window. So a quick gander at my 7 signings from when I took over. We brought in Goulart. Hasn't been involved, but the reason why he hasn't been involved is because we also brought... Who was the other right back I brought? No, it wasn't him, but look at him. Look how well he's done for me. Perez. He's done okay. I say okay, he's actually done very well. Morales, forward left, look at that, what a player, Fonseca, that's the right back that's been playing. We just said about the Brett Emerton regen, so we got our 7 in before it reset, and then when it reset, we got in the Argentine left midfield, who I'm playing at left back here and there. We brought in, we didn't actually spend ridiculous amounts in the second sort of window, for the simple reason, there wasn't too much going about. You've got to be really specific about what you're going for. I think the plan is we're going to have a little session today at some point. Matt wants to go through some Brazilian searches and try and pull himself some signings to make him a force. I think it's funny, really, because there's so much luck involved. I can quite easily win, or Matt can win 27 out of 27, and it means fuck all. You'll finish top, but then you'll play 4th. So it really just depends on how this is going to go. I'm very pleased with my setup. As I said, we're still in the Champions Cup, which is all your state winners. We got knocked out of the actual cup itself on away goals. A little bit disgusted at that. Matt has got a very, very busy period. He really has. But let's just talk about Matt quickly at Roma. It was time to leave Roma for Matt, and I think it was the right thing to do because he did it all. And if I show you what I mean by that, he finally won the Champions League. He beat Man United in the final. He had won the Italian Cup. He won the league. But the Champions League was massive because the season before, in 81-82, he lost in the semi-finals to Ajax, and you may recall the season before he lost in the final to me at Man United. I left Man United, like as I said, to go to Mönchengladbach. It's all about keeping the game interesting. The Brazilian league certainly puts a hell of a thought process in transfer dealings, and we've obviously not taken on Brazilian teams that have got the dog's bollocks of squads, because I don't think anybody has in Brazil. It's so difficult. But it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter. Now, it's hard to say that this is season 83. I mean, in theory, it's the start of season 83, but we're halfway through it, me and Matt. Well, now we're in Brazil. You know, I'm really pleased with my lineup. I did lose one game, and it's funny because the one game I lost in the state championship was against Grêmio, so I was very apprehensive about having them in the final. I mean, I beat this team here, Grêmio, we'll call them Esportivo Brazil. I imagine they're part of Grêmio, and we then had Grêmio in the final, and as you can see, that went according to plan. That went absolutely according to plan. And our formation, as you've probably just seen it a minute ago, we've used all season long in Brazil, is... Ooh. No, that's not what we want. Is that there. I call it basics. And that's it. Matt's going to be playing his usual formation, which I believe is something like that, I think. That is Matt's, I think. Let's just see if we can check. We could check. That's Matt's. Sorry, my apologies. So that is it. So he really built a hell of a squad at Roma. He really had. I think Matt might have actually already set that guy up. I'm sure he did. Let's see if they've got rid of anybody since he's left. No. Chances are they fucking will. You and I both know what AI are like. They sort of like wreck it, don't they? They really do. They wreck it to shreds. But I see he's got a whole load of youngsters come in there. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's it. That is it then, guys. So that is the new chapter. We are in Brazil. Did anybody ever see us going back to Brazil? Truth be told, I suppose it's a never say never, but you know, you want to keep the game. Who knows? We might end up back in Argentina at some point. I don't think Matt will ever end up back in Russia. I'm not saying I won't, because I think I'd like to try it at some point. It's not good. It's really not good for the health. The manager's stats then, as is. And I think I've done well to keep mine at world class in that respect. And that is it. But it does mean, of course, for the first time ever, we're going to have a season where none of us are in Europe. Believe it or not. That is a fucking rare one, isn't it? That really is a rare one. And that's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take it easy.